is a lousy liar. She's gotten caught red-handed telling lies, and one of her weakest lies was Casey's story that she was working at Universal Studios last summer when Kaylee vanished. How do we know this is a lie? Well, there's proof. Listen to this. 311 pages of investigative records have been released by law enforcement. Now, according to some of the records, the day after Kaylee was reported missing, that's on July 16th, Casey tells Detective Corporal Yuri Melik that she is employed at Universal Studios and that she has told two co-workers, Jeffrey Hopkins and Juliet Lewis, that her daughter is missing. Casey says Jeffrey and Juliet will be able to confirm her story. So the detective goes to Universal Studios and discovers Casey lied. Lie number one. According to the database at Universal, Casey's not an employee. She was fired on April 24, 2006. It's more than 2 years earlier. Lie number two. Jeffrey Hopkins, one of Casey's alleged confidants, didn't work at Universal Studios, as Casey said. He was fired from Universal 6 years before. Lie number three. Universal has no record of an employee named Juliet Lewis, Casey's other alleged confidant. The detective then calls Casey on his cell phone, putting it on speaker for everyone to hear. She again flat out lies, saying she does work at Universal as an event coordinator. The lies continue. Casey, in an attempt to convince the detective she does work at Universal, gives the detective her office extension. He tries the number. It's not valid. Casey says her supervisor is a man named Tom Manley. There's no Tom Manley employed at Universal. When asked where her office is, Casey cannot give the building number or the location, but she says she can show the detective. Investigators then follow her to Universal and tell her to lead the way to her office. Casey walks into a building and leads investigators down a hallway, and according to the detective, Casey walks with purpose and acted like she knew exactly where she was going. But she did not. Finally, Casey stops in her tracks, turns around, and admits she lied and is not an employee at Universal. Orlando Defense Attorney Diana Tennis is still with us, and Criminal Defense Attorney Jeff Brown joins us live. Jeff, we've all had clients who lie. We have to deal with it before a jury. Any suggestion about, first of all, is all this going to be played before the jury? They're going to hear about this sort of litany of lies.
Yeah, they're going to hear about all this litany of lies. The issue is going to be, why did she lie? And everybody's going to have the different opinion. A rational person, though, you just have to sit back and say, what rational person would say all these lies knowing that law enforcement is going to check on these? They're going to uncover this to be just a web of lies. So if she's rational, perhaps the idea here in the defense might be that she's stalling for time, knowing that if she can get her daughter back, everybody's going to forgive her that she initially lied, or at least they're not going to be that concerned because the child's back. But again, that's based on the fact that she's rational. If she's not rational, that would explain all these lies. But we haven't heard anything from the defense camp that they might be playing that card regarding her sanity.
Diane, last night we talked about this whole business about insanity, and Jeff says that it's not very rational, and it certainly seems, you know, incredibly irrational to lie, especially when you know you're going to get caught. I mean, she's a lousy liar.